There you go. We're going to have a very good one tonight. I promise you. So this is the book we've been reading. We've been reading this fabulous book called Millionaire Success Habits for the last few weeks. We're Strongs. There you go again. And we've covered The Villain Within. We are currently on the power of your story. Yeah, the power of your story. We've been doing that with regards to word spells. You can also catch up on our previous book clubs, breakdowns, presentations, all on our YouTube channel. Have you subscribed to the YouTube channel? Go and subscribe to it right now, family. Yeah, we're building up an audience. We also have a school platform because, to be honest with you, a lot of the presentations we do is really just scratching the surface. But we're going to piece it up and go deep. I'm talking about the straw man, what it really means, you know, how we can really use it. We're going to be more specific as opposed to general. So make sure you go on our school platform or put it in the chat and you add yourself as a member and also subscribe to our YouTube channel. Right, let's go, family. And don't forget to make your donation. Make your donation to our Power of Consent community group. We are a constituted group and we do go by the donations that we get from people. So that's the sort code, that's the account number. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you. All right, you ready? Right, so just on the phone with John. He's our special guest for the night. Thank you for all of you who are here and for your contributions. All right, so let's go with this.
The Hidden Science of Reggae, 2026. How has reggae music influenced Black British culture? Is this influence currently under threat of being erased? And what is the real agenda behind the Windrush scandal? All will be revealed at the most mind-blowing, historically informative, culturally relevant event of the last decade. The Hidden Science Academy, in collaboration with Hidden Truth and New Initiatives Catering, presents The Hidden Science of Reggae, Saturday, 20th June 2026 from 12 to 8 p.m. at the Radisson Red Hotel, Heathrow. This unforgettable event will be hosted by Leo Muhammad from the groundbreaking 90s sketch show, The Real McCoy. Join us as we embark on a captivating journey through the rhythm that reshaped a nation, sparked a spiritual revolution, and created a culture of resistance. This event will be mind-blowing. Speakers dropping knowledge on the day include Robin Walker, the Black History Man, Andrew Muhammad, the Investigator, Charmaine Simpson from Black History Studies, plus much more. There will be reggae performances by Alex Watson, Faye Simon, and a very special guest. DJs for this unforgettable event will be the dynamic duo Ace of Jacks, and at the official after party, you will be entertained by one of the most iconic British sound systems of all time, Saxon Sound. But wait, there's more! At this event, there will be an exclusive comedy set by one of the pioneering Black British comedians of our generation, the legendary sweet boy of comedy himself, Richard Blackwood. This event is not to be missed. Get your tickets now by visiting theinvestigator.org.uk/reggae, or extend this experience by booking a room at our Reggae Weekender, theinvestigator.org.uk/reggae weekender. If there was ever a time for a cultural renaissance, it is now. Get your tickets today and join the reggae revolution.
Do you know what it means to have a revolution?
The Hidden Science of Reggae.
If there ever was a time for a cultural renaissance, it's now, family, with all of what's going on in the world. So check that on the Investigator platform. Get your tickets, and I will see you there on Saturday. So this is why it's important for us to understand our lineage, just like it's important for brothers and sisters in Africa to understand their ethnic groups, their lineage. We, the Black British descendants of the Caribbean, who are the foundation of Black culture in the UK, need to understand our lineage. And that's so important, family, because everyone's eating off our energy, everybody, and I mean everyone, you know, and we need to understand our true identity for claims and for compensation and reparations for our ancestors being enslaved, specifically for us who are Black British descendants of the Caribbean. This is no disrespect to all other Black people, other Black groups. No. It's not about divide, separation, hate. No, it's just speaking facts. Because once we get reparations, my brothers and sisters from the continent, guess where we're coming to spend it with? Yes, our family in the motherland, our families in the West Indies. That's just how it goes. We have to naturally delineate so we can get reparatory justice, what has happened to us specifically, which was the slave trade. And family, you best rest assured, we are coming to Africa, the motherland, to build with our brothers and sisters with what we get, because the Bible says that after 400 years of slavery, you will be given great substance. No one fits that description better than those of us who are Black British descendants of the Caribbean, as our brothers and sisters in Nigeria need to get reparations for what happened with the Biafra wars and the petrol crisis, as our brothers and sisters in Rwanda need reparations, in Mali and Gambia. We all have our reparations claim for colonization, then there is for enslavement. That's all that is, family. And so with that being said, to go deeper, on the 25th of June, on the Thursday, we will be going into the Windrush scheme or scam. I think you know what it is. The Windrush scheme or scam, 25th of June. Yes, that will be on a book club day, Thursday strong. Thursday strong, family. And one of the guests we have confirmed is Ewan, who is a specialist in the Windrush scheme or scam, has experience, personal experience and testimony on it, and knows about the insides of how it works with regards to the court and the so-called law and the actual legalese inside the actual Windrush scheme form. It's all written in legalese. So we're going to show you and expose the Windrush scheme or scam on the Thursday, the 25th of June. And we also have another guest who will be coming in and joining on the panel. We're going to break down the legalese. We're going to break down, are we prisoners of war? Yeah, with regards to the boat, the SS Windrush, and the manifest, which is like the birth certificate. Have they tricked us into language and legalese with this application? So don't forget, be there in the next 2 strongs on a Thursday. And so that's why we're asking for a donation for your entry. We're going to call it donation for your entry toward the Windrush scheme or scam webinar that will be taking place in 2 Thursdays' time. Thank you so much. More people coming in the room. Very good. All right. So yesterday, who was at Leon Marshall's platform yesterday? Health and well-being. Put a 1 in the chat for me. If you were there yesterday. If you were there yesterday, did you join us yesterday, family? Who was there yesterday on Leon's platform? We did a part 2 on this magnificent subject called How to Master Your Universe. Who was there? Who was there? Right. So you know, if you were there for the 2 parts, Cynthia, Ian, Sandra, Celestine, is that? If you were there for was he there for the first part 1 and part 2? So he was there last Wednesday and this Wednesday? Cool. So we're gonna end it off and close it off because we was dealing with word magic. You know, I know Health Consent team, you are very familiar with that. So we're gonna just get into this and complete that. Then we're gonna bring in our illustrious guest, John Mohammed, who will be ready for us very shortly. John Mohammed, our special guest, entrepreneur. You know, we are in tune with the book called Millionaire Success Habits. So let's go with this and complete what we done with Leon yesterday. And what we've been doing here in truth at the Power of Consent, we've been asking people to write your story, control your story. Yeah? So writing your story is key to controlling your future, family. Getting a pen and paper and journaling your story, the power of your words. Doesn't matter what your past is. You know, referencing the book talks about don't make your past control your future. The future is now, family. The future is now. So that's why we always ask the question, and we asked this last Thursday. Are you the passenger in the journey called life? Or are you the driver or traveler? Who remembers what the word driver means? In Legalese, we broke this down last night. And look at the movie Get Out poster to the right, which is a great example of many who are just passengers in their life today. To control that, one needs to become the absolute traveler and in control. So this is why we talk about thoughts become things. Watch your thoughts because they become words. Watch your words because they become actions. Watch your actions for they become habits. Watch your habits for they become your character. Yeah? Watch your character for it becomes your destiny. We broke down character last night, didn't we not? Everything we do is a habit. Even just coming to book club is a habit. So hence, in this book, we're talking about the power of your story, and we are simultaneously continuing on with the book club of that which we're reading. So let's go, family. We're getting into it. We're completing what we done last night, and we're still doing book club here. Hang tight, buckle your seatbelts in.
And now, our feature presentation.
So yes, family, let me just get the presentational slides here for you. And I thank you for everyone who's in the room. Thank you for those of you who were with us yesterday. Let's just close it out before we bring on our illustrious guest, John Mohammed. So we're about to start. I hope you're all feeling all right, man. I hope you're all lively and ready. Let's go. Let's go. All right, family. So last night on Leon's platform, we went into what is called the definition of words. We spoke about character. We spoke about legalese and the meaning of legalese. Can anyone tell me in the chat, what is legalese? In your own words, what is legalese, family? What's legalese? Tell me real quick. What is legalese? Yeah, you got it? Okay. Yeah, that's right. Yes, so legalese is the language of the law society. The language of the law society. Greetings, greetings, Sister Carol. So government is derived from the Latin verb governor, governere, French, meaning to the control. And the Latin noun mens or mentis meaning mind, to control the mind. So that's what government means. Government is not over us. We spoke about this last night, a part of the hierarchy. What's on the top? If government is not on top of us, what is on top, family? What is on top? What's the hierarchy? Huh? Who's on top? Is it government? Is it living man and woman? Or is it the Most High God, Allah, Jah? There you go. That's right. So what's number two? Number two is living men and women. Number three is government. Government, hence why they sign public oath of office. They are servants. Your local government, your local councillors, your police constabulary, local government. They have a public oath of office, sworn to protect the public, serve the public. But everything the government is doing right now is for what? Commerce. Yeah, they're using you and I for commerce. They're using you and I to come under their corporation. And that's why we broke down last night what registering an application means. It means to submit, to acquiesce. So they ask you, once you give, once we have children, not children, because we're not the one. Once we give life, yes, then we are asked to register our children. See, on the platform of the school platform, we're going to go deep into this and the kind of documentation you need rather than having the birth certificate. Yes, we're just scratching the surface now. Yeah, they want the mother to be an informant, legalese. Yeah, and it's a certified entry form, copy. It's the copy. And it's registered to the 1666 Trust. Yeah, the Great Fire of London. Yeah, this is maritime law. This is not natural law. To the right, you've got your V5 form that says once you purchase your vehicle or means of conveyance, then you register it to the DVLA or corporation. That's the government, family. The DVLA is government just means a collective of corporations. That's right, family, Sister Carol. A collective of and even the word corporation, you got the word corpse, dead, and oration. Check that out. They are presuming that we are corpse, that we are dead entities. We're going to get into it before we bring in John Muhammad. Yeah, we're closing out for what we did last night.
When you register something, you are giving away whatever you are registering to whoever you're registering it with. Let that sink in because it's really profound. Register means you are giving away whatever you are registering to whoever you're registering it with. So you buy a piece of software, it doesn't work until you register it. So you register it, which means you're giving it away. And they're saying, okay, well, you can have it back with a magic secret code, but only under our terms and conditions of use. What we'll do is we'll grant you a license. And if you're in breach of that license, then there's consequences for that. It sounds bizarre, isn't it? You buy something, you think, well, that's mine. I'll buy that. It's mine, it's fine. No, in order to read it, you've got to give it back. But I've already paid for it. And when you read it, there are terms and conditions applied to how you read it and maybe what information you divulge from what you've read. So you can see it's a way of tying them up. But let's go on a bit further. Let's look at this word application. It's one of those things we do a lot. To get a job. Application. 17th century translation to that, as it is today, application means you are a beggar. And it's presumed you know what you're giving up in order to get what you're begging for. Submit. It's not like, oh, I'll submit this to you. Submit means you bend to another's will. So if you submit an application to register, what you've done in terms of legal is you've given up all your rights voluntarily. Because remember, there's laws against slavery.
We went over this last night. Listen, family, I wish I could play more, but that's what we're doing. We're making a contract with the United Kingdom Corporation, with the United States of America Corporation, for those of you in North America. This is the
Parliament and Government PLC is a for-profit company listed on Dun & Bradstreet. It's a fact. They are just a private corporation with equal standing to McDonald's, Tesco, Asda, or any other private limited company or corporation. They are no different and have absolutely no authority over us. Acts of Parliament and statutory legislation is their company policy. It applies to the members of that company. The MPs, police, judges, NHS, etc., anyone classed as a public servant.
Right.
It does not just magically apply to living men and women. 67 million people in Britain did not sign a formal agreement consenting to be governed by other men and women calling themselves the government.
Right. Now
nothing,
we go into the name
and
game.
I mean nothing.
Go into the name game, the Mr. and the Miss, this appellation, these appellations. We need to remove that. Yeah. Don't let them call you that to keep you in bondage contract to the United Kingdom Corporation. That's the beginning. That's how we learn. We got coming to spaces like this is how we disattach ourselves from the slave regime, because slavery is still here. Is that right?
That comes from the government is applicable to any living man or woman unless you consent to it by way of a legally binding contract. It's really simple. No contract equals no obligation. These public servants are operating under the presumption that if you're physically in the UK, their acts and statutes apply to you and give them jurisdiction over you. It's a presumption. And the fact is, there will never be any material evidence for that being true because there is no evidence. A presumption can be dismissed by a legal challenge. Would you adhere to the McDonald's company policy even though you don't work there?
By the way, family,
no.
We will be teaching on our school platform how you deal with court, should you want to or should you attend. All of these things we'll be dealing with on our school platform. We're bringing in our special guest, John Mohammed, tonight. We're still recapping or finishing off what we did with Leon last night on his platform. And we are reading the book called Successful Millionaire Habits. All of this ties in.
Would you take orders from the members of your local church just because you live within their parish? Nah. Would you allow the manager of Asda to behave like your boss, tell you what you can and can't do? No. Why are men and women taking orders from a bunch of criminals pretending to be government?
Right.
Orders which are coming through the television and other media. Not even through a formal source, a letter, something pretending to be a contract even would be more plausible when they're stripping you of your rights. But then people might question it when they saw it in black and white.
So family, if we have not signed a written contract, what there is really, how do we formulate contracts? Can someone tell me how contracts are formulated? What is the other form of contract other than written? Please tell me in the chat. What is the name of a contract when it's not written? No? Anyone? Verbal? Yeah, well, that's verbal. Tacit. There you go. It's tacit agreement. A tacit agreement is a silent contract. It's an agreement by performance, not so much verbal. See, if, for example, sisters, if a man asks to take you out on a date and he says, meet me at 7 o'clock, wherever, museum, whatever, and you turn up at that time, 7 o'clock, then you've agreed by performance to go out on a date with that individual. Just by performance, by what you say, by what you do. Verbal agreement, but there's the agreement of performance, tacit agreement. So it's not written out on paper. We have agreed to this acquiescence, that's right, to this corporation by our performance, by continuously paying taxes, by continuously going by our name, by the same straw man fictitious paper that was written from the beginning, the 1666 trust. Do you understand? We have to now rebut that claim. Yeah, we have to destroy that contract. The Bible says your agreement with hell will not stand. So that's why it's so important for us to understand the name game and word spells. Just like this, for example. You notice that the system, we use your slave name.
As you can see, we've had our eye on you for some time now, Mr. Anderson.
That's right,
Mr. Anderson. Oh, Mr. Anderson. 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 Mr. Anderson.
So you all get the point. In the movie Matrix, and we break this down again, and we got the full breakdown of that. We'll have that on our school platform. Why the name Smith? The name of this character. Smith, we said this last night, we'll say it again, represents what? What does Agent Smith mean? Agent Smith. Why Agent Smith? Because Agent Smith represents what? That's right, the system. Smith is the most common European name there is. Jones as well. Is it a coincidence that Smith and Jones, the name Smith and Jones was prevalent in the movie Men in Black? Two agents played by actor Tommy Lee Jones and Will Smith. Smith, also, you got the movie, the Agent Smith, what's it called? Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Yeah? Smith is the most common European name. It represents the system. The Smith, the hammersmith that molds things in fire. Hell, the devil, the corporation. That's why you have Smith. And why was he referring to Neo as Mr. Anderson? We spoke about this last night, the appellation. Your appellation. So a Mr. Muhammad, a Mr. John Muhammad, anytime that name, the appellation title comes up, you can say that that is a grammatical crime, a grammatical error. That's not how you spell your name. That's one of the ways that we can get up out of it. But we go specifically into this on our school platform. So the surname game legislation is a recent invention, which is started in the 12th century. Can anyone tell me the surname of Prince William? Can anyone tell me the surname of King Charles? Can anyone tell me the surname of Queen Elizabeth II? No, because they didn't go by surnames. Surnames are for slaves. So in the 12th century, originally created by what is called lex fori, legalese, again, the law of the forum, choice of law rules to live by government and not by God. See, government is should be under God, but government has made themselves God, hence the Vatican. They did this by adding a surname appellation. Are you, family, go and check out Roman law, go and Google this. They did this by adding the surname appellation. By this, we have given up our natural rights to living under government legislation. Right, to living under government legislation. So as soon as you go by your Mr. or Miss and first and last name, and you don't claim ownership over your straw man or woman, you are immediately a slave by performance, tacit agreement, acquiescence. Oh, yeah. And yeah, there was a British sitcom called Smith and Jones. That's right. So, family, it's a word magic, word game to keep us in the matrix. And we've got good brother John Muhammad with us, who's going to give us one of the keys to come out of the matrix tonight. He'll be joining us very shortly. So, family, as I said, these people took God's law, the Bible, and turned it into religion. I'm going to say that again. They took God's law, natural law, turned it in religion. So when you see Bible and Quran, you think it's a religious book. No, that's the natural law book. That's why when you go to court, you're asked to swear an oath on the Quran, the Holy Quran, or the Bible. These are the books of law, but they supplanted the Bible and Quran, or excuse me, religion, not those books, religion, and made themselves a God besides God, just like Pharaoh in the times of Moses. And guess who one of the key popes were for starting off this whole slave game? Yes, who can tell me the picture of this Philistine to the left? Who can tell me the picture of the Philistine to the left? I know you know who the one is to the right. Yeah? Who can tell me who this? See, we're going to study, family. We're going to go deep into our the straw man only on the school platform. We're not doing it on YouTube per se. We're not doing it at book club, but it's going to be private because we're going to teach us how we get claims. The man to the left is, well, no, not Constantine. He is, drum roll, you ready? We're going to know this word off by heart, family. We're going to know these people. His name is, or was, excuse me, Pope Nicholas V of Rome and Italy. Yes, Pope, why am I pointing at this dude there? Pope Nicholas. Because Pope Nicholas, remember that word, was the one who absolutely said, get rid of the Moors, get rid of the black people out of Europe. He was a part of the Spanish Inquisition. He was a part of that ideology to get rid of the Moorish and the Mennonite people out of Europe, and also started a contract with some kingdoms in Africa. Family, the reason why I've got the picture of the dude in the middle, which is, someone can tell me what's the name of the black, or sorry, the face-painted individual? He's called Black Pete. Black Pete. It's a celebration they have in Europe, in Amsterdam. Why Black Pete? Because Europe used to be ruled by black people at one point. You see it? Yes, yes. All over the place. A part of the Dark Ages. Why call it the Dark Ages? Because it was, in their mind, Negroes running Europe. The Arabian Peninsula, it was called at that time. Spain, France, Italy. You go there now and you'll find people really dark. So you got Black Pete, or known as Suave Pete. Remember that, Suave, when they describe certain royal family members as Suave or Stuart. King James, Suave. I'm telling you, you have a presence here. So that's the celebration that they do. He was called also Santa Claus to your right. What did Santa have? Santa's little helpers. Santa means saint. Claus, Santa Claus. Somebody tell me what a clause is. We're going there. We're finishing it off. A clause is a contract, family. The word C-L-A-U-S-E, clause. So you got Santa, Saint, Nick, Saint, clause, clause. We are under a contract, not just on the 25th of December, but 365 since the papal bull of the 14th century under Pope Nicholas. No coincidence, his name is Pope Nicholas, and this one is called Santa Claus because it's a renewal of the contract by performance. Slavery has not ended until we destroy the contract, family. That's what this is all about. We go deeper on our school platform into this. We go way deeper, but you must know about the Papal Bull and Saint, my guy to the right, Saint Nicholas the Pope. Saint Nick, the Pope, I'm getting all over the place now. Nicholas V of Rome, the Vatican, and Saint Claus, same thing. Renewal, trick the children, black helpers, use black kingdoms to start slavery. We broke this down. It's on our YouTube channel. Unfortunately, some of our brothers and sisters, well, I'm not going to call them brothers and sisters, some kingdoms were complicit to slavery. Ghana, they were known as the little helpers of Pope Nicholas V. You get it? He was a Portuguese pope as well. And that Almina Castle is built by the Portuguese. You see how it all ties up? All right, fam, let's go, Karen. We're just concluding what we started off last night. So it's important we must change the surname.
You hear that, Mr. Anderson?
Or take charge of it, at least.
That is the sound of inevitability. It is the sound of your death.
Right.
Goodbye, Mr. Anderson.
Take charge. What's your name? What's your character? What's your story? Notice he kept calling him Mr. Anderson. He kept calling him Mr. Anderson. He had to correct the status and say, no, my name's Neo. I am not Mr. this or Miss that. Correct the status. Now, why the underground? Because the underground represents the revolution. Hip-hop music started in the underground. Jungle music, underground. Pirate radio station, underground. Shubin, Riev, Party. Harriet Tubman. She led the railway road, underground railway road, to escape from physical slavery. The sounds of the underground, family. Very symbolic in the movie Matrix. Very symbolic in that he just announced his first name, not the last, and didn't respond to Mr. Anderson. Right. So we're just concluding before we bring in John. So the name game, capital letters equals sign language. Capital letters are different from lowercase. Dog Latin equals criminal. It's not English. So when you get letters with your capital, with capitals, all capitals, which is Capitalis Maxima, that's not you. England is a fiction. England is a fiction, family. Yeah? All right? Nationality is a fiction. So though we say we have nationalities here and there, it doesn't mean that it's necessarily describes who we are. Then you've got the four-corner rule, admiralty. We're going to that on our school platform. So we got, what's the name of this character here? What's the name of the character? Is Anubis. Anubis. I'm going to show you something real quick and then we're going to bring on John. Yeah? Anubis. Anubis, according to ancient Egyptian mythology, is the god of who? Who is the god of? He's the god of the dead, the underworld. I just showed you the underground scene with Neo battling with Agent Smith. It's all symbolic, family. All symbolic. He is the god of the underworld and the afterlife, excuse me. And it's recognizable by an iconic black jackal head. I want you to remember this. This is the god of the underworld. That's why when you write in capital, it's called Dog Latin. It's not English. It's not English. Capital letters means dead. Capitalize the letters means dead because you want to make capital. So if you keep responding to your capital higher case letters, then you are contracting with your straw man and woman and you're saying you are lost at sea and dead. And thus you are now in the realm of the underworld. But guess what, family? Did you know that symbolically the jackal Anubis was is prevalent throughout film, throughout our superstars in this world, and that they put messages, coded messages, even in their films. Guess who did that, family? Guess who showed us about the underworld and that the masses of people are in fact dead? Oh, you remember this movie, this short film known as what? Thriller, Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson transformed into a werewolf. Then simultaneously went from cinema, fiction, into the lower world. So it was reality, and it went into fiction. You saw him transform into the werewolf, Anubis. Then you saw good brother Michael Jackson dancing. All of those dancers, family, were black. You got to understand, all of those dancers were black, dancing in tune with Michael, MJ, who's trying to bring them out of the graveyard, bring them out of death. There's so much symbolic meaning behind that Michael Jackson music video, family, I'm telling you. And so we go deep into that on our school platform as well. So that's the conclusion of last night's webinar with Leon on his platform. So the bottom line is this, as we go forward, about to bring John Muhammad on. Create your character, family, and change your life. Create your character and change your life. We said last night, we're saying it again. You are the director, the producer, and the cameraman, and the superstar of your movie entitled Life. Get to the writing now, family. Start journaling, family. Start writing out what you want to accomplish and achieve in life. Who controls your story? Are you the driver or the passenger, the traveler or the passenger? We got to control our story. And now, with that being said, our brother's been waiting in the wings patiently to come on. And we thank you all who are new. Who's new here? Who's new here today? Put a 1 in the chat if you're new. We may not have any time to read the actual books tonight because we are here with our special guest, John, and he's going to be going into some powerful stuff, family. Real powerful stuff, man. And I can't wait. So let me just line up things. That's our good brother here. He's been with us before. Big inspiration in my life personally. And I know he's just getting impatient now. I'm going to just make the brother co-host and hand Thursday's book club over to the good brother, John Muhammad. Everyone, please welcome 5-star business owner, entrepreneur, life coach, inspirator, my personal friend, your brother, John Muhammad. All right, brother. Unmute yourself, sir. Yeah. Mic check. Right. We can hear something, brother, but you're very low.
You know?
Very low. Can we hear the brother? Can we hear him? Is it just me? John, you're yeah, unmute yourself again, brother. Something's going on. Something's going on very janky. Okay.
You know? You should
Yeah, we can hear you.
You should be able to hear me.
Yeah, we can hear you, man.
Awesome. Thank you, right? I just want to do a sound check, right? Let me know if you hear. I want to hear if you hear a sound check. Can you hear that?
We can just hear all kinds of stuff in the background, brother.
Okay. Well, I want to thank you, right? All of you have come on tonight to the Power of Consent platform, right? I heard Courtney last mention, right? Create your character, which is so important, right? Create your character, right? And it's so like awesome he said that, because that's what I'm gonna go into today, right? Let me just organize my screen. That's what I'm gonna go in today, right? Create your character, right? So let me put it in present mode, right? So today, right, I'm gonna cover, right, like something which is part of a character, right? Today I'm going to go into how to shift your identity, right, to achieve your goals, right? And I chose to choose this little image, right, of like a woman, right, with a mirror, right? And it's so bizarre that many of us, there's some old, how can I say, what do they call it, premonition, that sometimes people would cover up the mirror, or turn the mirror, or turn something the mirror backwards, or put a sheet over the mirror, right? You know what I'm saying? Just think of that, right? A mirror is a symbolic reflection of yourself. It's a symbolic reflection of your identity, right? So the superstition why we have to cover up the mirror, maybe at night or specific reasons, is very profound, right? You know what I'm saying? And today I'm going to take you into the identity and the mirror of your old self and your present self and your future self, right? Just like we see, right? And this is on the context of the whole book club theme, which is the millionaire success habits, right? Because identity and habits go together, right? So I want to thank you for being all patient, right? And I put this together actually at last minute, but I did do a YouTube video about it. So I thought, since we're on the theme of success, how do we achieve success, right? How do we achieve a millionaire mindset, right? And how do you create the habits? Because in our community, we were sold the concept of poverty, right? And we picked it up full hands, right? But where we came from, right? When you study all our civilizations, we had so much wealth. Even to this day, right? Africa has so much wealth, right? Gold, minerals, oil, right? I take a country, for example, like Congo. It's so wealthy, right? Provides a lot of the resources for the iPhone, which is the #1 phone on the planet, right? But you see, the country is in turmoil, is in poverty, right? This goes back to identity shifting, right? So, as I said, think about it. Why does your life keep repeating the same pattern? The same struggles, the same results, the same limitation. It's not because you lack motivation. It's because your brain is a predictive machine and it's predicting your future based on your past identity. Think about that, right? That's why we've got the past, the present, and the future. So today, I'm going to break down the identity shifting model that's going to change literally your whole life. If you understand this one concept, you will not remain the same person, right? And there was a phrase where people talked about the law of manifestation, right? Manifesting, right? Manifesting, if you think about manifestation, right? Manifestation, if we had an iceberg, is on the top, right? And the iceberg goes deep under the sea, right? Shifting on your identity is the deepest level that you can go to create change, right? So I want you to understand this as a goal. So I want to start by saying, right, your thoughts don't create your reality. Your identity does. And right now, you're probably loyal to an identity that's keeping you stuck. Think about that. You're loyal to your past identity. And this is where I'm going to show you how to forget who you are. Just imagine, I'm going to show you how to forget who you are, your present day, and choose who you want to become and let your brain do the rest. So I'm going to be like a wizard today, right? Abracadabra, I'm going to change you, right? Like in the stories, how they changed people into frogs, right? This is a very profound, even just how they do that, right? Because it's all in a mental state. And for years, I watched people set goals. All of us done that. Use affirmations, chase motivation, but nothing changed. Think about it. Then I discovered something, right? Your brain is reacting to your life. It's a prediction machine. Look at this diagram, right? Here, like we said, previous, blue pill. Here, red pill, right? We're staying in the blue zone of life, right? Because that's all we know, our past, what happened to us in the past, right? And that's why trauma is affected in our bodies, right? Trauma is actually stored in parts of our body, right? And that's why, because it's motion, right? Motion means movement. You might have hurt yourself when you was growing up, was in a bad relationship, something happened. You're storing that in your memory. Just imagine, because you're, all right, I was in one bad relationship. So you'll think all relationships are going to be bad, right? I was in one bad job. All right, I don't have money now. So you think you're not going to have money in the future, right? This is why we're saying, right, you're stuck in the blue zone because your brain is predicting the future based on your past. And this is where we call the entrapment happens. And predicting it based on your identity, not your desires. Right? Your desires are in the red zone where you want to go in the future. Right? Today, I'm going to show you how to shift the identity. In this web class, right, I'm going to show you how to shift your identity and how your brain is keeping you stuck. It's so important, right? The brain is some amazing mechanism, right? More powerful than AI, right? And how to change it for good so you can stop being the person you've always been today and start living the person you want to become, right? For me to change in my own personal life, right? I studied personal development, and before I used to have this like brain like squishy. I used to keep it in my hand to remember me, like from when I was like 12, because the brain is the keys to the kingdom, right? And even scripture says, right? Seek ye the kingdom, the mind first, and all these things will be added. Think about it. But the question is, what are these things, right? Now I want to talk about the power of identity. Everything in your life, the way you think, the decisions you make, and even your actions are all tied to one thing, your identity. But I used to think, what is identity? I couldn't understand this concept myself. But here's the twist. Your identity is not just your thoughts or beliefs about yourself. It's your behaviors, right? Your habits, what you do every day, your actions, right? And our actions and behaviors have now become automatic over a period of time, right? The older we get, the more our behaviors become entrenched. We start doing the same things by routine again, whether it's in money, relationships, career, no matter what, it becomes automatic. That's why, not in a bad way, most of us, we don't go to pursue our dreams, right? We have dreams when we're young, but by the time we get to 20, the dreams are dwindling, 30, they're dwindled, 40, they're definitely dwindled. People never think about in the 40s or 50s, nah, I still want to go out in the world and do this. They don't. It's because of this automatic behavior that sits in, right, into the subconscious mind, right? And here's the real kicker, right? Your brain works as a prediction machine. Think about that. How come we're stuck in our past when our brain is a prediction machine? No one ever told us. So we're stuck in the blue zone. I've always done things like this, so they're always going to be like this. Lie. The greatest lie that was ever told to mankind, right? The brain is a prediction machine, right? It is constantly predicting your future based on who you believe you are. So if you're stuck in patterns of failure, guess what? Your brain is just replaying that program, right? The predictions based on your old identity. It's creating your past over again, because that's all it knows. That's all it knows. Because to get out of that, that's the comfort zone. The unknown is a territory what you've never been to. So that's why people always do what they're comfortable. They might be in a bad relationship. They might be in a bad job. They might just be in bad circumstances. They're going to stay there, right? Because the brain is going over, is predicting them, right? They're being forced back. Imagine, right? We always talk about slavery. We always talk about white man. Run that. From today, we're not talking about no white man. When you understand your identity, we were the gods of the universe, right? We created the stars. We created the heavens, right? We had supremacy powers. And the reason why we had supremacy powers, because we controlled our own mind state. Our mind state was a prediction machine. Anything that we wanted, we got. And that's where the whole thing of the wizardry come, right? You shake your wand, you get it. You shake your wand, you manifest it. It's predicting, right? I want you to understand. So today, I'm definitely going to make you come out of your blue zone of life, right? I'm going to the red zone because I'm going to teach you how you're going to brain is going to start to predict the future. And this is it, right? This is our brain. How many films manifest that? Back to the Future is one of them. The Matrix is one of them, right? This is the greatest secret which was stolen from us. The greatest secret, right? The Caucasians know this, right? They're creating every single day. Elon Musk creating rockets going to the moon, all these innovations. Wait. How come they can create stuff and we can't? Right? And we are the alpha. We're the original people of the planet, right? Because we were sold as a lie, right? We were sold as a lie, right? And once you understand this component of your mind, right, life won't be the same. You can predict and create anything, right? So identity shifting, right, is the process of transforming yourself by changing your behavior, your brain, and automatically what you predict, right? It requires forgetting your emotional attachments to the past, identity, and choosing a new emotional state, consistently acting within the line of identity until it becomes automatically. This is why they say fake it till you make it, right? The method fake it till you make it means to become the new identity of the person that you want to be, right? So we have a state. We have a focus, what we focus on every day. We have the psychology of how we feel, how we behave, and we have the language. That's why words are powerful. If we speak in negative language, oh, this bad thing's gonna happen to me. Oh, I'm broke. Oh, I can't find a good relationship. Oh, no men are good. There's no good men out there. There's no good woman out. That's language, right? That's what you're focusing on, right? Your whole body creates that physiology, and then you create that mental state. So you stay stuck in the blue zone, right? This is the perfect example. So the whole concept today is how do we move out of the blue zone and get into the red zone? How do we move? The blue zone is the past, the red is the future, the land of opportunity, everything that you want to do, that you want to go. Because life, we were taught, right, we can't have the optimum life. No, we don't need to struggle. There's only one reason why we struggle in finance, relationships, business, career, because of state, because we entrapped to our past identity. We became a modern slave, right? We talk about slavery, but we became a modern slave to our own minds, right? And the whole goal is now to shift the identity, right? So how are we going to do this, right? So the brain works as a prediction machine, like I said, and it recreates your past. When you change your behavior, your brain predicts and ultimately changes as well. So here's our old identity. What all of us do it, even me. I'm always trying to like deprogram myself, right? That's why I don't watch a lot of TV. I don't watch a lot of negative. I'm trying to deprogram my old identity and create new new predictions, right? See, old identity and old predictions. Some of them have got predictions from 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 40 years ago, right? And it creates our behavior, how we behave. We're still behaving how we're behaving like many years ago, right? And then we get the same results and we wonder, why is my life not changing? Why? You know what I'm saying? Success. That's why I said that book of success, right? Habits. This goes into it. Old identity, old predictions, old behavior creates old results, right? Even if you want to create wealth and prosperity, right? We cannot have the same old identity, right? We've got to change our money beliefs, right? So, right, we have a self-concept, right? This is a diagram which I came up with. And in the context of our shifting identity, it's important to distinguish between your self-concept, what you think you are, and your identity. The self-concept is essentially the mental story you tell yourself who you are, right? It consists of thoughts, labels, what we put on us, beliefs we hold against ourselves, such as I think someone else who's good, or I'm not good at making friends, or I'm not good at money, or I don't think I'll find a relationship, or I don't think I'll find the right job, or I'm not able to travel, right? Or guess what? It's the Matrix, right? And guess what? We're stuck in slavery. We're still enslaved, right? It's constantly how we think about ourselves, right? So in this diagram, we have an old identity loop, right? We predict based on our past, which creates old patterns, which then triggers sabotage in us, right? Then it creates emotional loyalty, so we're stuck to the past, right? We're stuck with stuff which is familiar but limiting. So where we want to go, the other side is creating a new identity model, right? Who do we want to become? The new identity is predicting based on a new chosen state, new opportunities of where you want to go, and reinforced by new growth and emotional attachment from the past, right? No matter whatever happened to you in the past, don't take it into the future. If you had an accident and you had a bad experience, if you're in a bad relationship, if you're always not being good with money, saving or investing, right? That was your past you, right? I'm going to teach you how to kill your past you. Your future you is excellent, right? It's got all these great qualities, right? You can reach the land of freedom, right? You can achieve all your goals that you want to, right? And that's the unknown universe, right? So Why am I saying this, right? So we have the self-concept, first the identity, right? Like I said, let's refresh. The self-concept, the story that we tell ourselves every single day, your thoughts, labels, beliefs, who you think you are. I ask you now, right now, if I tell you who you think you are, a lot of us, we've already got a whole map, A to Z map of who we are, right? It's not easy to change, and the universe ignores it. So if you're in a blue zone, right, and the universe gives us what we want, guess what it's going to give us? The past, the mental story that we tell ourselves, right? And then we have our identity, right? The reason why identity is so deep, right? Because it's embodied in our nervous system. And that's why I say that's where trauma comes from. Because when we go through something, right, it's traumas our mental self, emotionally, our mental self, and emotional self, and our physical self, right? It's entraumaed in the nervous system, and our nervous system triggers our whole mind, our whole body, right? That's why it's hard to change our behaviors and our choices, and it's hard to get that. Imagine we got 6,000 or million miles of circuitry, right, of nervous systems, and all that is just like, oh my days, like we never detoxed it. We've never detoxed our mind, right? And so identity is hard to change, right? So I want you to think of, even though that's the case, right? This is the greatest breakthrough, right, in human mankind. And we knew this science, we lost this science, now we're going to regain this science, right? The brain is a predictive machine. It predicts future actions even before they happen, right? Like I said, right? How does it do that, right? Look, the input, your past experiences, your identity, right? Your memories. Imagine, right? How old you are, how many years of memories are. This is the circuitry that I'm talking about. Your beliefs. Based on your memories, we form beliefs, right? Then based on the beliefs that happen, we form behaviors. And based on our behaviors or habits, we form fears, right? Right? And based on fears, we get now social conditioning, right? All that circuitry happen in the brain, right? And we're stuck in the blue zone. Now you know why change is so hard, right? But little did we know the other part of our brain, which has been killed off, it's a prediction machine. Just imagine that. We never use that side of the brain. It's so powerful, it can predict future thoughts, it can predict future emotions, it can predict future actions, right? And when it does that consistently over a period of time, our results change, right? We get new feedback in the world. We start to see things differently, right? So our brain is a filter, right? It's a filter. All that stuff, what's happening in the blue zone, right? Who we think we are, the past, our culture, our ego, our patterns. That's a lot, right? I don't care. Even if you read one book of manifestation, you still can't beat all that. You're challenging like 20, 30, 40, 50 years of memories, beliefs, habits, fears, social conditioning, right? That's hard to do. And that's why we always become stuck, right? We always become stuck. But today, right, this is going to be one of the most powerful, right, messages I'm going to give you to train you how to become unstuck. Because, like, success is a circle. Everybody on this webinar is going to become extremely successful. A lie and a tell, Courtney. You're going to become extremely successful. How do I know? Because you're going to...
Come on. That's right. He's telling the truth. Yes, I'm Natel.
You're going to predict it. So now today, right, you just had a head transplant. I just gave you a head. You cut off all your past. And now you're creating your future, right? So how are we going to create the future, right? So this is how identity shifting works, right? How identity shifting works is choosing your new identity. Decide who you want to become, your new person, right? Then you're going to modify your behavior, act according to that new identity, right? You're going to create new habits and new actions. Then your brain updates the prediction, right? It starts to rewire your thoughts and your expectations, what now leads to new belief and new focus. The previous diagram I showed you, all that circuitry, past, emotions, this is where the rewiring happens, right? And that's why we call it neuroplasticity. The neuroplasticity of a mind is got all, it can be changed at any given time, right? And this creates an automatic new action and starts to align with new choices and new responses. But we can't just decide on one day that's going to happen. No, we need to do stuff that reinforces our behavior, put ourselves in new environments, be around new people, read new books, listen to like frequencies what can move us from the old, right? And this is how we shift our reality. Life reflects the new reality. So our identity first follows our behavior, then our reality shifts. But it's not as easy as it is. So why does change feel so hard? Which I demonstrated you before, right? I know it all sounds simple in theory, but change can be extremely hard. Because, right, like I said, we've got so much years of emotional trauma of our past stuck in us, right? And human nature, we can't just automatically forget stuff, right? So this is where it means to be emotional, loyal to our old self. So we're in a relationship with our own self and we're stuck there. Just imagine, we don't like how life is going, but we're emotional, loyal to our old self, right? Because
Teach us, brother, teach us.
all that circuitry in our mind, right? And our brain are wired to keep us with familiar patterns. So that's the matrix. We're talking about the external matrix, but now I'm talking about the God matrix, right? This is what they destroyed in us. They destroyed this knowledge, right? So now it feels safe. Even when we're not leading in life, we just settle for little. We settle for little because we believe that's all we can achieve. We believe, all right, I've hit that's what life is about, right? You know what I'm saying? This is surface level changes. Like affirmations are good, setting goals is good, but they don't work. Real talk. They don't work because the reason why you don't work, right? Because of all that emotional circuitry, right? That's a lot. Past trauma, brains, memory, all that. We've got like 6 million, like I said, neural veins floating through us, right? Change don't happen in the mind, it happens in the heart, right? Another thing is what we was told a lie, the difference between the heart and the mind. These are two mechanisms that work together. The heart and the mind, and the conscious and the subconscious, right? That brain was telling us the subconscious, right? All that circuitry is in the subconscious, buried deep at the lowest level of the mind. Things we don't even think about, right? So these are one of the reasons why change is hard, right? But we're gonna break that, right? We're gonna break that, right? And this is how we trick our brain, how we break our own matrix, right? Literally, how we separate our old self and now create a new self, right? This is how we trick our brain, right? This is what Elon Musk knows. All the founders of Snapchat, TikTok, WhatsApp, how they're creating like billion-dollar ideas because they know this trick, right? They know this trick, right? To be successful, you have to know. And this is where we have to develop a auto ego, right? In the beginning, Courtney was talking about character, right? If you take anything away, right? I want you to take this away. This one concept, I want you to take it away. Because before, I didn't even understand this concept. But now, I'm entrenched with this concept, right? The auto ego method, it's called, right? The auto ego method, right? And it's funny, right? The auto ego. Auto comes from the word alter, sacrifice, right? We've got to sacrifice our past to create our future, right? So this is the power of creating change, right? Creating a alter ego to create a new identity to transform your life. Because imagine if you're 20, 30, 40 or 50, or you're up against all that, you can't beat that. Human possible, you cannot beat that. Your old identity you've been programmed for too long, right? This is why you need a new identity. But how do you create a new identity? By creating a new auto ego. It's one of the most powerful ideas in human psychology and peak performance, is that people can deliberately create an auto ego, which is a different version of themselves, a different identity. This is why you got to trick the brain, right? That then embodies the qualities they want to develop. An alter ego is not about pretending to be someone else or living a lie. It's about consciously stepping into a version of yourself that removes fear, doubt and limitation. That's the only way you can come out the blue zone, come out the past, the trauma, all the memories, all the ways how we've got to create a new version of ourselves, right? Many of the world's greatest athletes, entertainers, and entrepreneurs and leaders use this technique to unlock their true potential and achieve extraordinary performance, right? The question is whether you have an identity. The question is not whether you have an identity. The question is whether your current identity is helping you or holding you back, right? So what is an alter ego, right? Our alter ego is constantly creating a character. What did Courtney say? Creating a character, right? We've got to create a new character or an identity that allows you to think, behave, and perform completely different from your everyday self. Think about that for a second. I came in, Courtney was talking about creating a new character, right? It's going hand in hand. So the alter ego is constantly creating a new character and identity that allows you to think, behave, and perform differently from your old self every single day. That's why you need a character. That's why all the people in Hollywood act. They're acting a character, right? We're all actors. From today, everybody here on this webinar is a world-class actor. Automatically different. Cast yourself. Cast the spell of your own mind, right? Imagine this wordplay that we always talk. Cast yourself to act in the greatest movie of your life. If you cast yourself to act in the greatest movie of your life and you create a whole new character, what do you think is going to happen to your life, right? So if we act, right, and it acts as the bridge between who you are today and who you want to become, right? It acts as the bridge between the red zone of your life, the old, and the blue zone, the future you. There's no other way how you can cross that bridge. You can't cross that bridge saying affirmations. You can't cross the bridge by meditation, right? It's too deep. All that circuitry of years, you can't. You have to trick your brain and create this new character or new identity, what we're going to call the auto ego, right? And the ego is a part of the human being, what represents something, right? So instead of saying I'm shy, I'm confident, I'm not good enough, maybe I'm not in the right relationship, there's no good man, there's no good woman, I'm poor, you begin operating as a confident leader, a fearless entrepreneur, a disciplined athlete, a master communicator, an extremely God-fearing woman, an extremely God-fearing man, a God, I can conquer, I can achieve anything, right? That's the mindset, right? And eventually you start repeating the patterns of the real identity. That's why no matter what anybody says, I love Kanye West, right? When Kanye West speaks, have you ever seen his documentary? From young, he always exerted extreme confidence when no one believed him, right? That's the level. He had already set up his alter ego in his mind, right? And he's got a concept, Kanye West, that's his alter ego, right? He already was fearless, right? Remember, right, when he came into the industry, he was just a producer, producing for all the artists, right? Jay-Z, all the artists, right? And he told everybody that he's not a producer, he could also be an artisan. You see what I'm saying? He had that mental belief. He wired it. When you go and see the film, like from his documentary on Netflix from like 20 years ago, right? He knew about this alter ego, right? So he created this alter ego. This is who I want to become, right? How is a man like that, right? Start from nothing, right? And then become a billionaire. A billionaire. Just imagine, right? The man released his old self. And this is a guy who was in a car crash. He was on his deathbed, right? He was on the altar of life. And from that moment, he said, I'm going to create a new alter ego. This is the person I'm going to become, right? And from that day, you had all these classic songs, right? That's the power of alter ego, right? So your identity creates your reality. Now, those words, they sound really simple, right? But like I said, the deeper iceberg behind it is your habits create actions. Your actions create results. You repeated results reinforce your identity. So it's so key. Subconsciously, every day we got happens, we got actions, we got habits, which produce a result. So when you change your identity first, your behavior naturally begins to follow, right? So that's why we need a new character, right? Because we change our character, right? We have this new alter ego. Naturally, the behavior starts to follow a chord. So instead of trying to force motivation every single day, oh man, I'm gonna set the alarm clock at 9 o'clock to wake up. I want to write my book. I want to start a business. We're trying to motivate ourselves in our old character. It's virtually impossible. Give up, right? But once you start this new identity and create a new alter ego, right? Science teaches that behavior naturally follows, right? And famous people who have created this alter ego, right? So many people have done it and reinvented themselves. Let's take a look, right? Kobe Bryant, right? He was like crushing it at one point in time, right? And then he started to, it's hard to be a top performer all the time. Then his performance started to dip. He started to lose games. He wasn't performing. He lost sponsorships, right? So he said, like, what's actually happening, right? So then he went to a personal development coach who taught him the same secret that I'm teaching you, right? He said, there's nothing wrong with you, right? You see what I'm saying, right? But you're wired of how you used to happen. Always. You can't beat that, right? So what we need to do, we need to create a new character, right? So the new character they created, they called him the Black Mamba, right? Mamba's got like so much significance to him, right? So the basketball legend Kobe created a new alter ego called the Black Mamba, right? Personally, during one of the most difficult periods of his life. Same thing. He was on the altar, right? Alter ego. He had to sacrifice his past, right? Trapped, right? It happens to the best of people, right? So what did the Black Mamba represent? Complete focus, fearlessness, relentless discipline, emotional control, elite performance. So by mentally stepping into that alter ego of the Black Mamba, his character changed, right? He separated his emotions from his performance and he became one of the greatest competitors in history, right? And the Mamba mentality became the philosophy that so many people embraced, right? So this is the power of the alter ego. If you want to do anything in life, your old character can't do it. Give up. It can't, right? You can't go against like so many years of past conditioning, programming, culture. It's impossible, right? There's no way, right? So that's why I want to thank all of you for coming up for this webinar, because this day forward, you're going to start thinking. Another person is Beyonce, right? Beyonce openly spoke about creating Sasha Fierce, right? This is why Beyonce is on top of her game. Because Beyonce is on every day. But when she steps into Sasha Fierce, all the girl, I'm independent. She's creating a mindset, right? She's creating an alter ego, right? And her alter ego is named, has got these qualities and traits: boldness, fearlessness, powerful, sexy, completely in the confidence, right? The stage persona allows her to overcome her nervousness and perform at the highest level, right? Why do you think she's a billionaire, right? Eventually, no longer does she need Sasha Fierce. She becomes those qualities naturally. That's why a lot of actors, right, after they act, they become that person. Like if we saw actors today, even us, we think, nah, for example, if we saw Denzel Washington, we think that's Denzel Washington. That's not Denzel Washington, right? That's that alter ego is created in every single film, Trading Day, you can name it, right? He's become this person, right? If we go and see the old Denzel, that's why the old Denzel to the new Denzel, that's how he delivered that level of excellence and superiority in acting based on the persona and alter ego that he created and set his mind. Same thing with Beyonce, right? I know that on this webinar, there's lots of you women today who are bold, fearless, powerful, sexy, completely confident, but you're hiding it in your trauma. You're hiding it in your past. You've locked that part of yourself. So today I'm coming with my magic wand and say trauma released, past released. So coming out of the blue zone and going in the red zone, right? Another person is Muhammad Ali, right? Formerly was Cassius K, right? Before embracing Islam, Cassius K changed his name, right, to another alter ego, right? His name represented a new belief system, a new identity, new values, a new personal empowerment, right? Because he also studied history. And he knew Cassius Clay was not his original name. It was a name given to him by the slave master, right? So he created identity. He said, I want to create a new belief system what can make me number one, the best people in the world in my sport. Not only in his sport, afterwards it became in personal development and the whole of humanity got to know him. His transformation became symbolic of self-definition, refusing labels imposed on him by others, right? To this day, right? So another person, right? Jay-Z, right? Sean Carter, Jay-Z. Another person, Malcolm X, right? Had an alter ego. Another person, right? Tupac, Shakur. They all create alter egos, right? Even some of the greatest women in history. I think the black lady who sat on the bus, I forgot her name. They all create all
Rosa Parks. Rosa Parks.
For her to like refuse, she created this identity of herself, her alter ego, woman empowerment, community empowerment, strong, boldness, courageous, right? Stand up to the system, right? There's no way I can do it all. Because this is the science behind alter egos. Psychologically, often referred as a concept as identity-based behavior, self-perception theory. This is science, right? Role adoption. This is what they know in Hollywood. Role adoption, cognitive reframing, right? Cognitive is how the mind is the cognitive brain and function of the mind, right? Like I said in the previous diagram, which I showed you, the mind, all that circuitry, right? How, like normally, think about it. If you just go on as your everyday, how can you beat that? You can't. The cognitive functions are already set. The more years go by, they set, more patterns become believed. It comes entrenched into you until it's cement. Right? But through cognitive reframing of creating an now, because the brain has something called neuroplasticity, it starts to learn new things. It's like jelly, right? It starts to melt, right? The ice starts to melt and become water. And when it becomes water, now you can become that new person because water can now be molded, it can shift, right? So so then we embody a new cognitive practice, right? So when people repeatedly act as a personal identity, their brain is gradually accepts those behaviors as new. So you start acting, you start acting in this alter ego character, right? I'm XYZ. You're gonna start. Your behaviors are gonna naturally follow with ease, right? The result is not faking confidence, right? Because if you say, right, I want to be like this new person, and you haven't changed or don't have an alter ego, or don't have values what you stand for, it won't work. You're faking it because you're faking it in the blue zone. You still have all this trauma. You haven't crossed the bridge, right? You haven't sacrificed yourself on your personal altar to say, right, this is my past and this is my present. Sacrifice, that's why it says alter ego. You haven't altered your state of consciousness, right? You haven't altered your subconscious mind, right? So how do we create like this change, right? By creating our own alter ego, right? Everybody on here, I want you to create your own alter ego. So this is step one, right? Decide who you want to become. Write down a piece of paper. Examples: an elite entrepreneur, a millionaire investor, a world-class speaker, a calm leader, a fearless salesperson, empowering women, even like empowering family man, empowering family woman, someone you want to choose your ideal goal that you want to achieve. Choose what you want your character to become, right? Step two, right? Name your alter ego. Examples: the lion, the strategist, the visionary, the builder, the black phenomenon. This is the same thing that Kobe Bryant did, right? The black mamba, right? Step three, define the characteristics. These characteristics are a set of behaviors, right? Calm, under pressure, highly disciplined, confident, assertive, wealthy, wealth focused, emotion. You got to give it a set of qualities because this is the new thing what's going to naturally behind you're naturally going to become. Then ask yourself before every decision, what would my alter ego do right now? Bang. Not what would you do. Remember, you're going to do the same thing you've always done. If any problem you had in your life, once you understand this concept, you said, right, instead of a ring of a friend, ring up someone, what would my alter ego do? Within that second, all these superpowers come from your subconscious mind, because you're going to start acting as that new identity, that new character, that new alter ego, right? Then repeat this daily until the behavior becomes automatic, because now you're going to think, this person, right? Any problem that you have any minute a day, what would my alter ego do? That is the defining question that you ask yourself. Any challenge, any moment, anytime you're in a situation, because now you've unleashed the cape on your chest, right? Now your superpowers, right, of your ancestors, the superpowers of your subconscious mind come into action, right? That's the bridge you've crossed. The altar, you've crossed the altar. Your alter ego now is the driving seat, right? And you're not gonna, you come out your old past programming. That one question takes you out your old past programming, right? So here are practical tips, right? Here are practical tips, right? That you could practice, right? To shift your identity. And I'm going to show you some of mine, right? It's daily identity journaling. Every morning, write down, right, what you want to become, how you want to become, feel, right? Be specific, right? Choose your emotional state. Journaling is so powerful. Write down your goals, because you write down your alter ego, write down all those qualities I said, right? Number 2, have an identity-based action. Start acting as if you already are that version of yourself. If you want to be confident, act confidently. If you want to be wealthy, take actions that align with abundance. But you're not doing it from your old frame of reference. You're doing it in your alter ego, a new character and identity that you've chosen, right? Step 3, release your emotional loyalty to your old identity. This is a tough one, but the only reason how or method how it can be done is you acting in your alter ego. You can't do it from the old person that you are. Every time you catch yourself slipping into old patterns or thinking, remind yourself, right? I'm no longer a person, but the easiest question, what would my alter ego do? And then you have to divorce yourself from your old self. There's no way you can divorce yourself from your old self if you're still operating. That's why you need a new character, an identity, and an alter ego, right? Your old self, and then I want you to, like, even a lot of us, right? If you don't burn incense, you don't burn charcoal, you should do this. This is an exercise I want to give you, right? Burn some incense, burn some shades, right? You know what I'm saying? Even if you get old pictures of yourself, right? Burn them. You hear what I'm saying? It sounds bizarre, right? Get old pictures of yourself, right? Get incense, right? Burn those old pictures, because that's not you. These are psychological triggers saying, I'm the new person. And you have a piece of paper to say, this is my alter ego, all the qualities, right? You see what I'm saying? If you do this once a month, now you're reinforcing, and ask yourself every single day you come across a challenge, what with my alter ego? Now you're breaking free from the slavery and of your emotional loyalty to your past, right? And you got to do this all the time to be consistent, right? Consistency is key. This is not a one-off event. It's a daily practice, right? Every day I am this person. Every day I'm my alter ego. Look into the mirror. This is what I was saying. Look into the mirror as your alter ego. Start walking and talking to yourself, right? I am this person. Choose a name and act like that, right? The more consistently you embody this new identity, the faster it will come automatic. Pray in your new alter ego. Meditate on it, right? This is what I'm saying, like burn incense, right? Pour on positive music, affirmation music, right? Like even neural beats, right? Play that character, right? Do whatever's necessary, right? Be the commander of your mind, body, and soul, and take charge, right? And I want you to write your own movie so your life is a success from this day forward, right? So this is the transformation path, right? As you continue to act in alignment with your new identity, your reality will begin to change, right? Your brain updates its predictive modeling, and soon enough, your actions and life will reflect that new identity. Congratulations to the new you. Thank yourself later. The predictive model, right, of the brain has been updated, and you would have broke through the matrix of yourself. We always talk about the matrix. I'm in the matrix. All of us right now are in a mental stimulation of our old self, right? We're in a stimulation. What's a stimulation, right? Something that's keep on happening, right? How many people have been in a job? They don't like it. 5 years later, they're still there. Be in a situation. 10 years there. It's a simulation, right? We're in a mental simulation, right? Every day we're doing the same thing. We're doing the same thing, right? The brain's a predictive machine, right? It predicts actions right before you decide. And this is the stimulation what you're passing, right? Your past experiences, your identity, your memory, your beliefs, your habits, your fears, your social condition. This is the mental stimulation, right? What we're entrapped to. We cannot overcome that, right, without creating a alter ego. The alter ego is the bridge to our best self, our best life, the best version of ourselves. So once we start to be in the middle and do all those exercises, right, your brain starts to predict and forget the past. That's why, right, I had this thing, right, anything that happens after 24 hours, it's out of my memory. Be it good, be it bad. I'm not even thinking about it. Some people say, oh, do you remember what happened last time? Nope. Oh, do you remember this experience? Nope. Because my mind is predicting the future, right? I don't want to be in the past. I mean, sometimes I think I went to one of my friend's birthday party, right? It was celebrating, right? Memories came back, beliefs came back, behaviors came back, fears from it. It's like I stepped back into the matrix of my old identity. Then I had to remember myself, right? I need to step back out. I step back into that world. I need to step back out, right? This is where I need to be in the middle. I need my brain to start predicting. Do I remember any of that? No, I don't remember, right? The subconscious, once you understand the power of the subconscious mind, it remembers everything, even from when you was in your mother's womb, right? It remembers, right? But you've got the subconscious mind, and then you've got the conscious mind, right? And then you've got the unconscious mind. There are 3 different levels of the mind. So even though we say, oh, we forget it, we're forgetting it from our recent mind, our present. But it's still in our subconscious. Everything that you ever done, even when you was coming out the slide of your mum's womb, fighting millions of like eggs, tadpoles, and you succeeded, and you came through, and you was born on a hospital bed, your mind remembers that. Imagine, that's the power of the mind. And now it comes from that subconscious, and then it comes into conscious memory. And then in conscious memory, we start teaching, we start learning all these habits, memories, behaviors, fear. We start picking up on social conditioning, right? And then it becomes a engine, right? And then we're stuck with that. And then that's our life forever. You don't have to be that way.
Brother John, the chat is on fire, brother. Listen, family, put some ones in the chat for John.
Coming to an end, right?
we're gonna stop it right there, because you know what? One thing I'm learning about knowledge, wisdom, and understanding and information, it needs to be done in increments. This was and is great. This is so practical, useful, down to everything we've been talking about in book club with this particular book, down to what we've been doing with Leon in terms of word magic. To me, this is the icing on the cake. John Muhammad, I'm going to ask on behalf of the room, can you come back next Strong Thursday to conclude?
Can I tell you a secret?
Tell me now.
There's only 2 minutes left.
2 minutes left, but we want a part 2. We still want a part 2 though. This can't be a one day thing. It's got to be. Who agrees that this should be a part 2 though? Come on. Come on, man. We need more.
I don't want to overfilm you. I want to keep it as simple as possible.
Yeah, we need you back next Thursday, family.
That's
next
it.
Thursday, because I believe it was simple tonight, and I believe we can get into it and even have more space for questions and answers. And family, if you want to catch up with videos like this by our good brother, please subscribe to our YouTube channel and the links in the chat. Go on, subscribe. But J Money, listen, brother, let's open up for question and answers. Let's open up for question and answers right now, because this is powerful and I know there's people itching to ask questions. So this is our chance to do so now. And I would like to start off with anyone that's got their hands up. Hands up in the chat. Let me know any questions or any points. Can you modify this for teens, please? Let us know. Let us know what you mean by modify. What do you mean? Dion.
Greetings. Wow. Brother John. Yeah. Definitely needed, definitely on time. Love that. Love that. And do you know what? When you was talking about being at the party and it kind of reminding you of your old self, and you had to kind of just fight your mind and say, you know what, now burn that. I love that, brother. I love that. What I wanted to kind of what kind of shocked me was when you was talking about like burning pictures of your old self. I'm not even gonna lie, when I heard that I was like, but please, could you go into that a bit more, just so that I can kind of get a better understanding of it?
Like you say, right, it goes back to the mirror aspect, right? Because when we in a mirror, we see ourselves. Seeing our old, right? And like a picture is just a mirror of who we were in the past. So funny, I was saying, one of my cousins was saying the other day to me, John, guess what? I still take pictures, right? She'll take pictures on her phone, she will go to the shop, right? And she'll print them out and put them in a memory in a school. Because of Instagram, right? We see pictures every single day, right?
Right.
But it's reinforcing our old self. Rather than old self, we're constantly reminding ourselves, right? And when additionally, right, when we had a memory album, all Dad used to do us, we used to look at this in the past, it's all in the past. So, this is when I was, it's all in the past, nothing in the future. And this is where another exercise, which is more powerful than that, having a vision board.
Absolutely. I agree.
Yep.
Yeah, a vision board, powerful stuff.
Any other questions? Thank you, Sister D. Any other questions? Hands up, please. We've got to keep it brief. We're going to finish good on time. I need questions. I need hands up. Unmute yourself. See people chatting. That ain't going to work. Put your hand up. Come on now. Your alter ego commands you to do that. Shy mouths don't get fed, family. I want to see some hands up. If I've missed you, just unmute yourself and go ahead. Ask a question. Make your quick statement if that's what you want to do. Kim, put your hand up, sweetheart. Come on. Don't let your old self make you be shy now. This is a challenge now. Positive challenge. I'm not reading out. Okay. Introduce yourself. Who are you?
Hi. My name's Malvina.
Malvina, how you doing, sis?
Yeah. Hi. Hello. Good evening, everyone. Very good presentation. Yes, I'm almost a little bit scared by looking at this information and trying to work out my alter ego. Is it fair to say that if you don't do the exercise correctly, that one could actually lose themselves? Because I'm thinking on the lines of, when you got some people who got some mental health conditions and they feel that there's someone else.
Yes. Well, journaling comes into it.
Sorry?
That's when journaling comes into it.
Okay, right. Cool.
Like I said, right, this was powerful. Like I've loved this stuff, right? And you said the mental voices, right? And before, right, I could never have my mind completely still where there's just nothing on it. It took me like 4 or 5 years to train my mind to be completely still, right? Completely still. I mean, no thoughts, no nothing. I had to sit in the bed, the bath, put a candle on, meditate for 1 hour, 2 hours, right? But when I reached that state of peak meditative state, right, my mind became crystal clear. right? So that's where meditation helps. Because when we first start meditation, right, thousands of thoughts, we always hear these voices. And if we're consuming social media, TV, radio, that's so many years of voices in our head. The subconscious remembers everything. Really, every person you ever spoke, right, is a voice in your head. Your mom, your dad, your friend. It's buried in the subconscious mind. So do I hear voices? 100%. We can't escape from that. That's why we got our, how can I say, that's where meditation comes, about putting on a certain frequency of mindset and just going. Because if you do that consistently until your mind is crystal clear, so much amazing things will happen. I'll tell you a story, right? I had to do that for 4 or 5, like many years, right? The first couple of months, right? When I got my mind to a crystal clear thought, not one thought, right? It was like the ocean. I started to predict all these things, right? I would see what's happening in my friend's life. I see what's happening in my family's life. My channel was so open, it's like a crystal. And I used to go, my friend, this is going to happen to you, blah, 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 blah. They said, is it? How do you know, right? 6 months later, they come back and tell me it's happened.
Yes, I can witness that.
After one friend. And afterwards, it was too much. I became like a tarot reader or a reader. I said, no, I'm not a reader, right? But only because I could get my mind to a state of clearness. Because just like our memory, right? We've got thousands of minutes, right? Years of voices in our head, right? Telling us what to do. But deep, if we penetrate that deep down, the voice of God is there, right? And you connect to yourself, right? And that's why meditation, the ultimate practice, is a practice what takes time to get into. Because our goal is to practice until our mind is crystal clear and nothing is on it. And that's the hardest thing to do, right? It's so hard. We've got to train our mindset. So, like you said, like you said, you said something key. We have to go into the devil of our own self.
Yep.
Can I just ask? Can I just say something else? Is that
real quick, people.
Would you say that to do this exercise, we should also eat cleanly? Let's say fasting and trying to tap into our pineal gland,
exactly.
Our third eye. Is that going too much?
Because like you said, right, we used to talk about voices. Where do these voices come from? They come from somewhere. Now just imagine, right, we're human beings, right? Just imagine, right, I don't eat meat, I haven't eaten meat for so long, right? I just like eat fish, right? Every so often. But just imagine a chicken was slaughtered, right? That chicken's got emotions, it's got memories, it's got thingy, right? That comes into the human system. We're taking that on as well, right? I never forget, right? But before, when the reason why I stopped eating meat, right? Because I went to like Uganda, I had to kill a chicken, right? I got the chicken, we chopped the head off. The chickens kept on running down the road.
You're wicked. You're wicked.
So basically, right, me and my cousin ran after the chicken with no head. It's kept on running. That's why I said the head is the head, but the heart still exists. So we kept on running it. We caught it, then we plucked it, right? And when I plucked that chicken, when I ate that, that was the most healthiest chicken I ever ate in my life. From 1 hour to eat it, right? It was the most healthiest. I could still taste the blood. I could still feel the life of the chicken in the food. Just imagine that. I could still feel it. The chicken's feelings and emotions were transformed to me. But now the meat what we eat today, hormones, injected, traumatized, terrorized. We're taking on all that energy. You see what I'm saying, right? We're taking it from our kingdom into us, right? So, does it help to fast? Yeah, because fasting, then we start to detox, right? Fasting is one of the highest things. It creates discipline. The more discipline we have mentally, physically, spiritually, now we can start to fast from our thoughts. So you said, so the physical fast is just symbolic of the mental and psychological fast. Because like I said, if you can forget food, then it's easy to forget memories. Imagine that. If you can forget food to eat, then it's easy to forget your past. If you can forget your past, then you can create a new reality. So does those things help? Significantly, they help.
Right. Let's crack on. Let's move on. Any other hands? Thanks. That's a great question. Great points as well, John. Yeah, man. Yeah, wicked to do that to the chicken though. Oh yeah.
Yeah, this is like 30, 35 years ago.
Right.
How
Any
do
other hands up? Hands up before we close out, family.
Hi, so it's Kim here. I had a question.
Carol.
So I want to there on in your side you talked about finance about wealth and abundance, and there's a level of financial wealth and abundance that I want to attain. How do I use this in order to do that? So when you say act in my alter ego state, act in that way, what does that look like?
You know what? It's so funny, right? The answer to that question, I created a personal journal. I'm going to share it with you next week. And my personal, about 100 pages, right? I was thinking the same way. I need to, how do I do it? I asked myself the same question. But then I created, like in a story, number one, I created a film about myself. I journaled about myself, but then I created my old mentor movie. Like, this is me. 6 months from now, I'm in this place. I'm in this country. I'm in the house I want. I'm in the car I want. I'm in the environment I want. And then then I read that. I'm going to show it to you because this is a powerful technique. And I replay that mental movie. I read it like my goals every other day. I'm the star of that movie. I've got it, right? I'll create my own mental movie to like overcome all that. Because if I watch that movie many times, what does start to happen?
Becomes reality.
Go. Right. But we're going to go into that because there's our physical thing. That's where journaling comes. But the stuff I showed you, right? Because I love this stuff, right? I've always tried to like become a I'm going to share that on next week. If we are doing this, I'm going to share.
Yes, we are doing it next week, next Strong Thursday. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. Word is bond.
To answer your question.
Thank you.
Kim, you're the last one. Kim, go ahead.
Oh no, that was me. But I do have another question. So is there anything else that we can do physically?
Got 2 phones?
No. It's just, oh no, I've got 1 phone.
Okay, go ahead.
Is there anything that we can do in our day-to-day life to with regards to finances? Because I think for a lot of us, we might have some ideas, some projects that we want to undertake that require, it requires finance, let's be honest. So are there particular things that we can do in our day-to-day life in order to embody the person that has those funds in order to complete those projects? Last question. Thank you.
Thank you.
I've always been involved with business. I've raised over like £60 million, like for community businesses, people. So that's always been a thing. But it goes to rewiring how we think. Another thing which is going to be even more useful, right? I built a whole AI platform about this, which I'll go into and I'll show you how I use it, right? Is there something to do? Yeah, we need to like just take for example, see ChatGPT for example. Just go in there, right? This is my alter ego. This is what I want to become, right? Create me a game plan of what I need to do every day. It's going to do that.
Wow. Come on.
Right.
Brilliant.
And another thing, what I was going to say, right, which goes into the same thing, mind, health, blah, blah, right? I want
Leave it to next Thursday, bro. Leave it to next Thursday.
Say no more. Say
less now. Yeah. Right. Let's put some ones in the chat for our star guests for the night, John Mohammed, part 1, and he will be back. We'll be forward next Thursday. But don't go. That is the completion, family, of those who were with us for Leon's session for the last 2 Strongs. That completes it. That's the capstone. John Mohammed capstoned it off 1 time. He head topped that off 1 time. How to Master Your Universe. All questions answered now. It's all there. And all the recordings we've got here at the Power of Consent. And that's why you need to join in on our school platform. You need to go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's all in the chat. Go and do it right now because we go deeper onto our school platform, which we'll be launching for July. And we've been reading The Power of Your Story. See, breaking it down. These are new habits, family. And, funny enough, John was talking about neuro frequencies.
Neuroplasticity.
Check this out.
Have a listen to
this.